Previously on Gears.
The world of Formula One, you heard the big news that I mentioned a little bit earlier. Nico Hülkenberg signed to Sauber for 2013. Joining us, the man who knows it all, Vic Maharaj. Vic, great to have you on the show. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Sasha, how's it going? Very good to be here.
Very good. Daisy was saying she hasn't spoken to you in such a long time. You really need to come visit.
Yo, you never come to visit us anymore.
I have to come and visit. I want to see your Daisy's double Ds. I've missed it all along. You know?
Yeah, no, we'll have to organise something like that, Vikesh. Vic, great news for Nico Hülkenberg, eh?
Yeah, I think it's something that we've all expected, Sasha, over the last couple of weeks. The rumours have been rife, and I think normally in Formula One, where there are rumours, we have to we have to believe it. He signed a deal for Sauber. I think Sauber historically have only signed one-year deals. A lot of feeling in the paddock as well is that maybe the one-year deal means that 2014 Ferrari drive could possibly be in the offing for us now that Sebastian Vettel is absolutely denying the fact that he has signed any principal agreement with Ferrari.
Well, I think he has basically nullified that one. A very interesting little article came out from Kimi Räikkönen, and this one, I think, Vic, what do you think the chances of Kimi, not next year, but 2014, rejoining McLaren?
Well, that's something I've read as well, Sasha. It was just very amazing to hear him say that he signed a one-year deal with Lotus. You would have expected that if he was really happy there and he felt he had a fantastic chance in the championship, he would have signed a slightly longer-term agreement. And he came out and said that, you know, he didn't actually only say McLaren, he said possibly Ferrari. So I think he's throwing it out there. I tend to sort of agree with you that McLaren would be a more realistic opportunity for him. But it would be really interesting to see Kimi with McLaren. I think it would really show some great potential that Kimi is really committed to Formula One.
Yeah, I think it would be great as well. Vic, let's talk a little bit about this championship. Fernando Alonso versus Sebastian Vettel. It was a phenomenal drive from Alonso to get the second place. But it seems as though Red Bull are opting for a very different kind of setup strategy to ensure that they get the pole position.
Well, I think if a team has hit it on the head this year, being Red Bull, they've taken a long time to get on top of these new regulations. I think internally they felt that whatever the regulations were put out by the FIA was to try and slow them down. But Adrian Newey, being the man that he is, has sort of focused the efforts, and they've done very well. And we saw it at the last race meeting. In terms of the 24 cars on the grid, they were, I think, 22nd and 23rd fastest in the straight line speed trap for qualifying, which then implied that they ran very large wing angles to give them the speed through the corners, which effectively they do that to try and qualify on pole. We know for the first 2 laps there's no DRS deployed, and if you break the 1 second gap, the other guys cannot deploy DRS against you, so therefore they just can run the optimum race setup, gear the car optimally, and run the race according to their strategy, which they feel is a positive. It's really worked particularly well for them in the last 4 Grand Prix. McLaren and Ferrari tend to think that the gap is narrower than we, the public, see, and they think it's track specific, but I'd say that we've seen 4 completely different tracks. And the Red Bull has been dominant on all of them, particularly in Sebastian Vettel's hands. So I'm not expecting huge changes, but I'm really hope that I'm wrong, because we really Alonso win this weekend.
Yeah, we did. Well, I mean, to keep the championship alive, this is make or break this weekend. I mean, Alonso has to finish ahead of Vettel. That's for sure. But do you think, Vic, now that everyone seems to have cottoned on to this idea that they might also run with, bigger wing angles to try and make sure that they also, can optimize in terms of one lap pace?
It is possible. We saw Kimi Räikkönen do that as well at the last Grand Prix, but I think really what you're trying to imply by this, or what Red Bull is showing, that they've just got a lot more downforce than most other people. And in qualifying, remember, they can deploy this double DRS system of theirs, so therefore with the high wing angle, they're not badly compromised in that single lap qualifying. Now, not all teams have a double DRS system. They've all got single DRS. The only double DRS system is the Mercedes team, and they've come out and said that they're looking at not even running it next year because it's caused them a whole lot of problems. So I don't think it is as quite as simple as adding a lot more wing. It may give you an idea to run. You have to be on pole for the strategy to work, because if you're not on pole, you don't have the top speed to be able to attack the guy in front of you. You saw Kimi Raikkonen stuck behind Felipe Massa the entire race, not able to pass. So if you are not convinced that you're going to get pole, then you've got to go with the Ferrari strategy, with the McLaren strategy of having a little less wing and being quick in a straight line.
And I suppose, listen, it doesn't bode well for this Grand Prix weekend in Abu Dhabi. As much as it's a magnificent facility, Vic, the track doesn't lend itself to, unfortunately, great racing.
No, we've seen it last year. There were 2 DRS zones. It didn't really give us huge overtaking, and the mere fact that Red Bull has got this slight advantage, or this huge advantage, if you want to call it that, I really think that if one of the guys, if McLaren or Ferrari can't take the fight to Red Bull, we could see the normal story of the Red Bull of Vettel or going off into the distance, and the rest of the guys fighting it over the minor placings. I'm just hoping that the FIA does give us a double DRS zone, but remember last year the DRS zones were 2 successive straights. The guy passed down the first straight and then got repassed down the next straight, so it equalized itself out. So I'm not sure how they're going to plan out. They haven't announced the DRS zones for this weekend. Pirelli's bringing the medium and the soft compound, which they've used all along at this particular circuit. So I don't expect a huge mix of strategies, a completely different strategy in terms of tires. It's going to be very similar to what we've seen all along, and I think Red Bull have been pretty forward to that with decent parts.
Yeah, losing you a little, Vic, but let's give you one last one. I mean, nobody wishes bad luck on a driver, but if you look at the law of averages, Vettel, four wins on a trot here, very, very consistent. Maybe, perhaps, you got to believe the gremlins might creep in. Oh, we lost Vic. Sorry, Vic. Okay, he's gone. Well, just say on that point, because Vettel, 4 wins in a row. We've had the season where the first 7 races we had 7 different winners. Perhaps the law of averages has to work a little bit against Sebastian Vettel, but you don't wish bad luck on any driver. Okay, there we go. That's a look at the world of Formula One. Don't forget Absolute F1 later on tonight. Gary, Vic and myself, 7:30 on Supersport. Don't miss it.
At the next intersection, turn on Gears with Sasha Martinengo. Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.